Good morning. I'm Steve Barrett, Superintendent of Gahanna-Jefferson Schools, and I'm here with Eric Cox, who just finished his senior year at Lincoln High School. And we know he's going to go on to do some interesting and exciting things at Bowling Green. So the first question we have, Eric, is tell us a little bit about your plans after graduation.
So, like you said, I'm going to Bowling Green. I'm going to be majoring in political science. I might be adding communications onto that. I'll see. I have orientation later this week. I want to see how that combination works. Double majoring is kind of starting to be a big thing now, and I want to go more into communications within politics.
Yeah, cool. So, in what grade did you start in our schools here in Gahanna-Jefferson?
Kindergarten. I've been here my whole life.
Your whole life. And you have brothers and sisters that came through as
Yep.
well? And so, what elementary school did you go to?
I went to High Point.
Went to High Point, okay. So, as you entered high school, you were involved in a lot of activities. Tell us the activities you were involved in.
So I was involved in Link Crew. I played volleyball all 4 years. I was in Business Professionals of America for a year. We had some political groups that we tried to get going. They don't have them anymore, but we did get something going there for a little bit.
Okay. And what class at our high school had the greatest impact on you?
I would have to say two. Speech my freshman year. It definitely gave me a lot of public speaking abilities. Miss Malbach did a fantastic job. Every year since then, she's been trying to get me on the speech and debate team, but it just never really worked with volleyball.
Yeah.
And then TV, because it also reignited that spark I had for journalism and communications.
Okay, great. So what strengths do you feel like you built up over your 4 years at Lincoln High School?
So public speaking was probably the biggest one. For BPA, I was able to talk at kind of a fundraising gala for them in front of a few hundred people, which was a pretty cool experience. General communications, I learned how to edit on our MacBooks in the TV room. I just learned how to be a better person, to get myself involved, and how to be a better friend and just be a good community member.
So our foundation sponsored a fundraiser, 30 for 30, to celebrate Tom Gregory's 30th year in his broadcast journalism class. What was it like making the change to the MacBooks, and what were you able to do as a result of that big fundraiser they did?
It was fantastic. We had about half of the classroom already switched over to Macs before I started. And then for the first half of the year, I was using the old editor. And then once we had more Macs, there was enough for everybody, and we didn't really have to fight over them when we were editing and whatnot. So I went ahead and switched over. It took a little bit to get used to the newer software, but it was much quicker. I could edit a story in a period as opposed to like 3 days.
Wow. That class has had such an impact on so many people in terms of their career and what they went on to do. What do you think that class will do for you as you enter Bowling Green? And I know you're looking at politics as a career.
Yeah, I think it really got me back into the communications area of it. I kind of had a journalism phase. TV kind of got me back into it and made me kind of want to switch more into the public relations and communication side of politics.
Okay. And so what makes you the most proud of your experience at the high school?
Well, there's a few things. Volleyball, we were district champions this year. We were also undefeated OCC champions. And then at the beginning of the year in September, I led the effort for a 9/11 memorial where we had up a flag for every person who died on 9/11.
Wow.
And that was overwhelming to see that many flags. And it was a great experience. We had so many calls. The news came out and they took some video of it. I had a teacher who came up to me and gave me a hug. Her family was involved. Unfortunately, she was from the DC area and she had family who was working at the Pentagon, and it was just something that needed to be done.
What gave you the idea to do that?
So it was an effort led by Young America's Foundation, and just seeing the pictures of my friends' chapters doing it, I was like, I need to do this.
And so how did you organize it? What did you do to get so many people involved?
So I'll be honest with you, the volunteer effort of all the people who came and did it, that was very last minute. I didn't realize how many people I was going to need until the night before. I was texting everyone in my phone. The biggest thing was getting the money to pay for the flags.
Yeah, okay. So what advice would you have for middle school students? So we have 3 middle schools in Gahanna, and they're all about 500 or 600 kids, and they'll be coming, 8th graders will be coming to the high school in the fall, and they'll be in a building with 2,400 kids. What advice do you have for them as they start their journey freshman year at Lincoln High School?
I mean, they've heard it so many times, but get involved. That's the best piece of advice I can give for you. Do things that make you uncomfortable. Get outside of your box. You're going to hear it over and over again, but they say it over and over again because it's true.
Yeah. So what did you do that made you uncomfortable, that sort of made you feel like, I really want to, this is maybe uncomfortable, but I want to take a risk? What did you do?
I took classes I didn't think I would like. I kind of thought I would, wasn't 100% sure. I joined clubs. I applied for things I wasn't sure I was going to get. I just did things I wouldn't have done.
Okay. So is there anything else you'd like to say about your experience in Gahanna-Jefferson, maybe not just the high school, but throughout your 13 years of schooling?
I mean, we stayed here for myself and my siblings all years through high school, elementary school, because it's a good district. It's because the things we do here are fantastic.
Okay.
And we are the right community, and we're an example of what a community should be.
Okay. So it's well known, Eric, that you plan to run for president someday. And I think you've even picked out a year. So tell us about your ambition to be president or run for president one day.
2040, if it happens.
2040, yeah.
Like I said, I've been getting more on the communication side, so we'll see what happens, and we'll see if I just decide to be on a ticket or something like that.
Okay. And what gave you the idea of 2040? What does that mean to you?
I mean, that's just, I'm eligible to run in, 35-ish, 36 is that year. Give me a few more years. You know, you got to be governor first or something, so.
So why do you want to be president?
We got to fix this country.
Okay.
I could go on for another 2 hours about things we got to fix. I'll talk to you about tax policy if you want, but there's a lot of things we got to do.
A lot of different things you want to fix in our country. Okay, great. So 2040, Eric Cox for president, Gahanna-Lincoln graduated a couple Saturdays ago, going on to Bowling Green. Thanks so much for coming in today.
You're welcome.
All right.